Yo, 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 another guitar lesson here for you guys. We're going to do some seventh chords. You know, a seventh chords can be kind of confusing for a lot of people because they're not really explained very well typically at first. So this lesson, I'm just going to show you some how to get started playing a seventh chords. We might nerd out a little bit as far as how they work and why they work, but this lesson I just want to get you playing them, and I want to show you how you can play seventh chords based on some simple information that you already know. So based on some of these chord shapes that you already know, and we're just going to be looking at the E shape, the A shape, and the D shape. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, let's just start with the D shape. So a seventh chord, in essence, is what it is. It's a major chord, and well, we're going to work on major today. There are minor seventh chords as well. Well, we might go over that too. We'll see how much time we got. So major, we're just going to start with the major seventh chords and dominant seventh chords. So what's going on with a major seven and a dominant seven chord? They're both built on a triad. So if you've got a D major chord, I'm just going to play a D major triad here. 1, 3, 5. So it's just the triad plus the 7 of the scale. So 1, 3, 5, 7, the seventh note of the major scale. That's going to give you a D major 7 chord. And if you want a dominant seventh chord, it's the same thing, you just flat the 7. So it's still a major chord, 1, 3, 5, and then we flat the 7. Okay, now a lot of people don't necessarily realize that they're just major chords with one note added, and that is the 7 or the flat 7. So when we're learning these, the easiest way to get started is to take something you already know, the comprehensive approach. Let's take this D major chord. So for this lesson, you're going to need to know your open chords. So you got D major. Now all we have to do is locate. Well, basically we've got 4 notes here, four note voicing of this chord. We've got the 1, 5, 1, 3. So we want to find a 7 to add to it. So the easiest approach here is to find that 1 an octave up, which is going to be that D on your B string, that 3rd fret on the B string. And all you got to do is lower it a half step, and that's going to give you the 7. Because that's where the 7 lives. It lives a half step below the root. If I play the major scale, that's where it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so we just lower that root note. Now we've got this actually a pretty easy chord to play. And it's a really beautiful chord. Okay, so that's your D major 7. Now the cool thing is, you can do this. You can just pull this out on the fretboard and you can get the same thing. So let's do an E major. A little harder if you want to have your first finger down here. You don't have to do that, but it gives it the root. And then there is your major 7. Same thing, you're just taking that. In this case, my pinky's playing it, lowering it down a half step. Voila. Okay. Now, let's go back to, now let's just take a look at the A major chord, open shape here. So again, we just got to locate. This is why scale degrees help a lot. You can find, I know where my roots are. So I've got a 1, 5, 1, 3, 5 is what the order is. So I'm going to take the second one. You could call it the 8, 1, 5, 8 if you wanted to. And I'm just going to lower that a half step again to get that 7. now you got this shape. Now you can play it however you want to. I like to play it typically like this, second, first, and third finger. But you can see you're just taking the information you currently know and just applying a little more knowledge to it, just dropping that root note down a half step and you get your A major 7. Now this one, like the D shape, it comes out. So let's say we're going to play a C major chord here with the A shape. Same thing, we just lower that middle one so we get this shape here. If we want a D chord, D major 7. So that's just how that works. This is going to get you playing. If you can play your A-shaped bar chords, and if you can play a D-shaped chord, then you can play the major 7th chord all over the fretboard as well. It's the same shape. That's the nice thing about the guitar. And then the E. Now all of these have the same. We got the 1 5 1 thing going on, 3. So we're going to take that root and lower it, and now we've got that, and that's pretty basic there. And so now if you bring that out, you're going to get this kind of sound here. Maybe let's go to G major 7. It's a little tricky at first to get the fingers in the right spot, and honestly I don't actually play it this way. I'll give you a little bit of a, not that there's anything wrong with this, this is a really nice sounding chord, and feel free to play it like this. I always liked doing this number here though, where I just grab the root and then I grab the 7 with my third finger, pinky the 3, and I got my second finger. It's got the 5 down there. So it's the same chord, it's just a little bit different voicing. We're not playing the A string. The A string's muted, and the E string's muted. So you're just playing these. So that'd be a G major 7 chord. And they're really, really wonderful. I really enjoy playing and the sound of the major 7 chord. Okay, so, and pause the video, rewind if you need to look over that again, but it's really basically taking these open chord shapes and just moving one note, because we're just adding the 7 to the triad, to the 1 3 5. Now let's take a look at the dominant 7. Same kind of thing. We're just going down an extra half step. So with the D, instead of the major 7, and I touched upon this on the last video here, we're just going down another one, which gives you that sound of the that Beatles song Something. But if you want to just, most of the time when you're grabbing a dominant 7th chord, you're not going to be playing the major 7 first. So we're just going to take a look at this D and then make it a dominant 7. Yeah, and that's a pretty common move too. That happens in music a lot. Maybe you're playing like something like that, going back to the 1 chord. So anyway, and you can take this out as well. You could play this E, F, G. You're just taking that shape, moving it out, and you can grab that finger there. It's actually quite a bit easier to play than the triad. If I'm doing a G major triad to G dominant 7 there. Okay. And again, just a reminder, this lesson is just basically some shapes and just to get you in the door, get you in the doorway of the 7th chord realm. So just want to get you playing 7th chords, get the fingers going here. Now the A, probably played this one quite a few times. you just leave that middle voice open, which gives you the flat 7, which is a whole step below. Okay, and then you can again pull this one out. Let's say I'm playing a D chord here, then drop that down a whole step. And then the E shape, you just lift up the 3rd finger here, and that's going to give you that dominant 7 sound. And then if you want to do, let's say, a G, the bar chord's really kind of nice. It's really easy for the dominant. You just lift up your pinky. You just got to make sure you got the clamps down there because you want that note to sound. And the dominant 7th chords all over the blues. So if you want to practice your dominant 7th chords, might be nice to do it over a blues progression. So, I hope this information helps. We can dive a little deeper into the 7th chords. I have a feeling it's a kind of a fertile ground there for learning for a lot of intermediate guitar players, and I would love to teach you guys some more of that stuff. So if you have some more specific questions about 7th chords, hit me up. Otherwise, I'll probably just kind of think of a way to approach this so it's there's a good flow to the information and it all makes sense to you. Also, hit me up if you want online lessons. I've got some openings. I do that over Zoom, and yeah, link will be in the description. All right, peace.